Evening, guys. So this is the second meeting of sociolinguistic class, and as we talked last week about sociolinguistics, does anybody tell us about what sociolinguistic is? Any idea of sociolinguistic? Anybody? Yes, please, Jessica.
In my opinion, sociolinguistic is a branch of in linguistics that learn and talk about how social and linguistic grow together in society.
Okay, then what is linguistics? Linguistics come from the word language. So when we talk about sociolinguistics, that means that we talk about how language is acquired in such or in certain social group or community. Now we will talk about how language is acquired. So basically, language is socially acquired. Language is socially acquired. What does it mean? Language is socially acquired.
Bahasa itu terbawa dari kebudayaan.
Bahasa terbangun dari kebudayaan. And then what culture cover? Culture covering, budaya itu mengcover apa saja?
Bahasa,
language, dialect, society, the way people live, the way people eat, the way people dress. We talk about the culture. But culture is not always about language, the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we walk. But culture is also something we have inside. It is about belief, the value we have our whole life. So now we will talk about how language is socially acquired, and you will be divided into 3 groups. You will work in groups, and we have, how many of you are here? 12. Then each group will have 4 people. Good. I shared you the handout, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I asked you to read on chapter 2. What's the title of chapter 2? The title of chapter 2 is Socioculturally Acquired. Language is socioculturally acquired. I give you time to prepare your questions, 2 minutes maybe, to prepare your questions. The questions that really make you interested in learning sociolinguistics. Okay, now group 1. Who will ask the questions? Ano.
Okay, thank you. We have from group 1, and you have 2 questions to group 3. The first is, in cognitive approach, we have 2 perspectives of the cognitive theory. So please give the simple example of them. And the second is, what is encoding information according to you?
Okay, thank you for the questions from group 1. And now from group 3, we will try to answer the question. For the first question, we will give both of examples. The first example is when we try to explain something for the children, they will accept it by their ways, their own ways, and then they represent it by using maksud saya adalah ketika kita menjelaskan sesuatu kepada anak kecil, belum tentu mereka dapat mengartikan semuanya secara sempurna, tetapi dengan cara mereka akan mengulang kembali atau menyampaikan kembali apa yang sudah kita ajarkan kepada mereka. Dan yang untuk contoh berikut, pertanyaan kedua, mohon maaf, bisa diulang. Pertanyaan kedua.
What is encoding information?
No. For the first question, but
we have 2 perspectives of cognitive approach. The first perspective is, and the second is, and the encoding information of that approach.
Thank you. And then for the second statement, it's related to how we make the children to be easy to memorize something. So according to us, when we talk about like parts of body, we just show them where is your nose, and then we can for the next week atau ketika misalnya minggu ini kita mengajarkan kepada mereka tentang parts of body, maka minggu depan kita bertanya lagi di manakah hidung kalian, where is your nose, and then we ask them to show where is their nose.
So those are two encoding of cognitive approach. But how about the two perspectives? You haven't answered that questions.
No, ma'am. For
Okay, you answer the encoding, and the perspective of cognitive approach will be answered by Astrid. Is that right?
Astrid will answer the meaning of encoding, ma'am.
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you. Now I will try to answer the question number 2. What is encoding information according to our group? According to our group, encoding information means how we express our intention by using symbols based on what we have read or what we listened before. That's all.
Can you give example of encoding information? How you express your intention to the listener? You are the speaker, right? And when you say something like when children say mimic, and how the children express the intention is by using gesture that the children, he or she wants to drink something, drink milk. That's encoding information. Can you give us another example of encoding information? Adults also use encoding information a lot, right?
Yes.
So give me one example of another of encoding information of adults. Something like when a child points to magicom,
Yes.
that means that he or she wants to eat. But how about adults? How do we use our encoding information? Can you give us example? Others from group 2 or group 1 encoding information?
Maybe like we want to present our material in front of class, then we say attention please. Then that means that we need the attention for our classmates.
Okay, maybe when you're talking in front of class and the class is too noisy,
Yes.
and you say attention please, that means that you want them all to pay attention, you to see, to listen to you, and not talking to each other. Or something like when you are talking using English too much and your friends do something just because they don't understand, and you switch the language from English into English, just to encode your information, just to express the real intention of what you are talking about. Itu jawaban yang tentang encoding information, both from children and for adults. But the first perspective, you just come up with the example. Coba jelaskan dia punya teori. Tadi kan langsung di example. When we tell a child about, okay, dog. Kalau kita lewat di jalan tiba-tiba ada anjing, and we say it's a dog. Itu anjing. Lalu berikut lagi ketika lewat ada sapi lagi, semua yang berkaki 4 dinamakan anjing. Itu salah satu cognitive approach. Let's give applause. We can go on to group 2. Asking group 1. And who will ask questions? If you don't put off your mask, then speak louder.
Thank you. We are from group 2. We have 3 questions to group 1. The first, there are two branches of philosophy. Please mention and explain them.
Two branches of philosophy. You explain and you give examples, right?
Yes.
And the next questions?
Okay, the second question. Non-Chomsky differ two kinds of language structure mentioned and explained.
Sorry, can you
Two kinds of
kind of language structure. So,
Language what?
Explain
language what?
language
structure?
Language structure.
Okay, the last question. What is the meaning of social and geographical dialect?
Okay.
Thank you for the question, and I will answer the first question. Two branches of philosophy: nativism and empirism, more commonly known as nature and nurture. This has been a hot topic for debate among psychologists in their attempt to understand how someone's personality develops. Nativism and empirism are two different approaches to this development, with nativism placing an emphasis on being born with certain innate traits. So here, nativism is a branch of philosophy di mana seseorang mempelajari bahasa, someone's learn a language from sejak lahir. And then empirism is all knowledge is derived from experience. So in empirism, someone learn language from her or his experience. So, for example, in empirism, seseorang mempelajari suatu bahasa tidak hanya sekali. He or she will learn it not only once, but berulang-ulang kali. And then in nativism, someone learn language. For example, ada satu anak yang cuma sekali dia belajar bahasa langsung dia mengerti. Sedangkan dalam empirism, seseorang belajar itu harus dari pengalaman yang harus dia lakukan berulang kali baru dimengerti. Okay. The
Next questions. Non-Chomsky theories about
about structure?
language structure. Yes, please. Sama. Jessica or kami?
So guys, according to our group, the inner structure of a linguistic expression is a theoretical construct that seeks to unite several related structures. For example, the sentence Pat loved Chris and Chris was loved by Pat have regularly the same meaning and use similar words. Some linguistics, Chomsky in particular, have tried to explain the similarity by claiming that these two sentences are different traits from that from the same or very similar inner structure. So guys, as per Chomsky, deep structure refers to concept, thoughts, idea, feelings, and superstructure is refers to the words language we use to represent deep structure. Jadi surface adalah cara untuk mengungkapkan deep structure tersebut. Jadi dengan menggunakan kata atau bahasa. Sedangkan deep structure itu sendiri strukturnya adalah konsep, pemikiran, ide dan rasa.
So how many structures? How many language structures according to Chomsky? Two. The first one is
Deep
deep structures. So explain it. Deep structures and give it example.
The first is concept.
Deep structures dealing with concept,
Yes.
ideas,
Feelings.
Ideas, feelings,
thoughts. Okay, deep structures we have it here. Di sini. And the surface. So the surface, what does it mean?
the words, cara kita mengungkapkan deep structure tersebut, like what you see, ekspresi, seperti apa yang saya rasakan, saya ungkapkan.
What you have in mind, others cannot know unless you speak, unless you talk, unless you express them. You don't even need to talk. When you are sad, and people will know that you are sad because by seeing your face, your expression, your gesture. Okay, but sometimes what you have here, you need to communicate using words, using language. Jadi we have language. Language has deep structure, the one that we have in mind, in our feeling, in our thoughts, in our ideas, and we have surface structures. We express using words, using gesture, using whatever words, gestures,
Expression,
sound. Okay, jadi we have to language structures. Deep, the one based on non-Chomsky theories. Itu non-Chomsky punya teori. Surface and the deep one. The deep is what we have here inside. And when we want to communicate what we have here, we need to use surface. We need to use medium. We need to use words. We need to use gestures. Kalau kita senang kita seperti ini toh. Body language, expression, facial expression. But sometimes we need to use words. We need to use the language. We need to say something. And mostly we use our language. Because when people really know you, and then they will understand when your gestures signify that you are angry or you are hungry or you want something. But when people don't know you, then you need to talk. You need to tell them something in order to them understand what you want. Kalau yang kenal dekat, satu kayak dia, ini kayaknya ada marah. Tapi kalau yang tidak kenal kamu, orang dari Kobelet di sana tidak tahu ini satu dia marah, dia ada senang apa yang melihat muka begitu, atau dia ada haus, dia harus kata saya haus. You need to use surface words. Oke, jadi apa? Filosofi tadi nativism and empirism jelas kok. Nature and nurture. Nature we learn language naturally by our surrounding. Kan kita dengar lalu jadi bisa. So my 2-year-old daughter can know the word maksudnya saya belanja pakai, saya beli pulsa pakai mamaku uang. Jadi she learn language naturally karena she listen from her surrounding, dia mendengar. No, tidak, kita tidak mau, because tidak diajarkan, tapi she listen to me, the way I speak, the way I talk to her, and then she imitate. Itu nature. Tetapi ada kata yang saya ajar, misalnya kata ketok, dia bilang tekok, jadi itu diajar ketok. Karena dia maksudnya bilang tekok, tapi dibalik jadi tekok. Jadi harus saya ajar ketok. Nah itu yang nurture. Kalau nature ya cara bicaranya sudah menyerupai saya karena setiap hari surround saya seperti itu. Beta tidak mau, no, gitu. Jadi itu nature karena surroundingnya seperti itu ya. No, tidak. Tapi kalau untuk beberapa kan harus diajarkan dengan sengaja diajarkan. Oke? Nah, itu nature and nurture, and then structure and surface. Sudah paham dong?
Yes.
Good. What else? Okay, yeah, 3 questions, right? The last one.
Okay, so I will answer the question.
The last one is about
geographic.
social and geographical dialect.
Okay, So in sociolinguistics, social dialect is a variety of speech associated with a particular social class or occupational group within a society. So here we have geographic dialects and social dialects. So geographic dialects are varieties associated with speakers living in particular location, while social dialects are varieties associated with speaker belonging to given demographic group. So geographic dialect itu berdasarkan tempat tinggal atau lokasi di mana si speaker hidup. Sedangkan social dialect adalah dialek yang digunakan karena terpengaruh oleh demographic group atau misalnya grup tertentu. Misalnya ketika dia berada di lingkungan orang dewasa, he use more polite words, and with children, a group of children, I use the low level word like jadi misalnya ketika saya berada dengan dosen saya akan menggunakan bahasa-bahasa yang lebih sopan. Sedangkan kalau saya berada bersama teman-teman saya atau dengan keluarga saya akan menggunakan bahasa-bahasa sehari-hari yang lebih humble. Jadi itu adalah social dialect, Sedangkan geographical dialect adalah penggunaan bahasa yang kita gunakan karena terpengaruh oleh lokasi di mana kita tinggal. Misalnya saya yang merupakan pendatang dari Alor, karena sudah tinggal lama di Timur, menggunakan dialek atau gaya berbicara orang Timur, seperti itu.
You know everything about Chomsky theory, terus social dialect. Paham kok? Good, very good. So thank you for group 3. Let's give a big hand for them. And now last one, group 3. We'll ask group 2. 2 questions, right? 2 questions.
Okay. We are group 3.
Just put off your mask, unless we can hear your voice.
We have 2 questions to group 2. The first question is, one more stage in the first level of children speaking skill, but how about the children with stutter, because they usually cannot speak clearly? How we help them based using body language?
And the next question?
And the next question is, language acquisition shows that children can talk by using one word utterance. So please explain what does it mean.
Okay. So who will answer the questions?
I'll
Eustace.
answer the question from
Yeah. The first question will be answered by Eustace, and Pauline will answer Orida or Christine. Orida's questions.
Could you please wait? The question.
One word stage is the first level of
One word stage. One word.
Yes.
Yeah, the first level of
Speaking skill. Children speaking skill.
And what do you want to ask?
But how about the children with stutter, because they usually cannot speak clearly? How we help them based using body language?
Okay. Based on our opinion in our group, if we find a people or a person like that and we want to help them, or maybe their ability in using language in their daily activity, sometimes we can use body language, or sometimes they can use their own language that they created by themselves. So the body language, for example, they want to call someone, they only say it and just like doing like this, or the language that they use, for example, he or she want to say Anggi is coming, they cannot say it clearly, so they can say Angkam. So it's only understand by certain people, for example, their family or their surrounding people. So I think that's all.
Okay, so one word level, one word stage, stage. Jadi anak-anak yang harusnya kan dia one word stage dulu toh, tapi yang tidak bisa bicara bagaimana? Nah, they can use gestures or their sound that they produce, and even their family can know what the child means, what the child wants. Karena dia tidak bisa bicara toh. tapi dia punya gesture atau dia punya sound, bukan kata, sound. Ini yang jadi keluar, mereka tahu, oh ini dia mau makan. Dan the caretaker, the family, the parents will know. One word stage. Okay, right. Next questions is from Orida.
I will answer question from Orida. Language acquisition so that children can tell by using one word utterance. So children develop gradually so that children's language will become accustomed to imitating the words of those around, but with imperfect pronunciation. For example, children say what daddy, he said that. Dari sini kita bisa, ketika anak kecil berbicara, mereka seperti contohnya anak-anak yang umur 2 tahun atau 3 tahun. Ketika mereka bilang bapak, mereka hanya menyebutkan ba. Mereka tidak menyebutkan secara keseluruhan kata tersebut. Contohnya mother, mereka hanya bisa menyebutkannya mom. Dan mereka hanya bisa meniru kata-kata orang lain di sekitar mereka, tetapi mereka tidak bisa menyebutkannya secara sempurna.
Okay. So itu berhubungan dengan tadi yang one word. Apa setelah one word stage, terus one word biasanya di periode berapa, umur berapa? No, before a year they can produce one word. Biasanya, atau anak dengan kemampuan ini yang bagus, harusnya dia sudah produce berapa words ketika 1 tahun. Kalau dia belum sampai berapa kali berarti ada yang salah. Dan biasanya kita di di Timur, mungkin di Kupang sudah ada, tapi biasanya kalau di Jawa apa speech delay, ada istilah speech delay. Ada masalah di sini. Makanya dia tertunda sampai dia punya bicara belum bagus. Tapi kalau anak yang cerdas kita lihat, oh dari kecerdasan bicara tuh jelas kata per kata, lalu bisa 1 kalimat one word itu normal. Dan harusnya diproduce usia beberapa bulan yang normal. Tahapan perkembangan anak. Lalu ada anak yang dia bicara maksudnya ini tapi tidak jelas, tapi tergantung surrounding. Jadi kalau kita bicara, kalau mau maaf kita no, just talk to them using the complete language. The usual language that you use. Mau makan, kamu mau makan, gitu. Jadi dia akan bicara makan. So 2-year-old daughter, and she's very good at speaking and very clearly she produces very clearly utterances, and then she can produce in one sentence she can produce 9 to 10 words. Jadi dia bisa jelas. Ya nanti kita mau berusaha maksudnya pakai nama punya uang dan jelas begitu. Jadi something happen here. Jadi di sini berhubungan dengan karena kecerdasan dan berbahasa itu biasanya ada di sini. Jadi kalau ada speech delay harusnya kita cari tahu ada masalah apa, gitu ya. Memang kalau kita ini sudah nanti bilang dia bisa bohong untuk aku yang jadi no. Tapi kalau sekarang orang lebih concern di budaya kita kan kita biasa gitu, sudah pada uji apa, yang penting kita tahu lah dia normal, kita anggap dia normal. Tapi kalau di Jawa orang anak akan lihat oh ini ada speech delay berarti ada yang masalah di sini. Karena yang normal tahap perkembangan anak 1 tahun dia sudah harus produce berapa kata. Meski huruf R dan L itu susah, tapi ada anak-anak tertentu yang mereka sudah bisa. Jadi anak-anak yang kecerdasan berbahasanya bagus sekali. Okay, so itu one word stage. Jadi tahapannya harus jelas. Jadi kalau kita lihat ini ada yang kurang bagus, silakan dibawa untuk konsultasi dokter. Jangan biarkan sampai nanti tahu jalan duluan. Oh sama apa dulu begitu dia bapak tahu jalan duluan. Bohong saya tahu dia bohong. No, something it's not words here. Jadi ada yang bekerja dengan baik di sini. Karena idealnya ada di sini bagus, baru dia turun ke yang lain. Okay, so today tadi kita di setiap grup kita sudah bikin kesimpulan ya. So today you know about tadi. Yang pertama cognitive cognitive approach, right? Encoding information, you express your intention, suggest the words or another words, or you simplify or you mix the language, anything. Lalu cognitive approach, terus apa lagi, and surface language structure, terus Noam Chomsky tadi itu, terus apa lagi? Oh, repetition and realism, and apa lagi, social and regional, geographical dialect, and stages of language development, starting from one word. The final stage is apa? Telegraphic or yang terakhir setelah one word. Okay, just open your hand out. Setelah one word stage, we have sebenarnya ada 7 word, 8 stages. Ada telegraphic stage. Setelah one word stage, apa lagi? Two word stages and telegraphic stage. What else? Apa lagi? Apa? Oh, berarti 3. One word, 2 words, and telegraphic stage. What is telegraphic stage, Dad? Kalau gitu, telegraphic stage?
They try to multiple word.
When the child in age 2 or 3 years begin to produce multiple words, begin to produce multiple word utterances.
Ya, jadi one word, lalu sudah masuk telegraphic stage. Telegraphic stage of using multiple words and utterances. No, sentence. Even complete sentence. Beta sudah mau sekolah minggu, beta mau sekolah minggu yang mama saja. Beta mau di gereja saja. It's a sentence. Okay, it's telegraphic stage. So if you have your sister, your brother, or your nephew or cousin, then you can watch their stages, language development. Is it one word, 2 word, or telegraphic stage? Mine is in telegraphic stage since she is a year and a half. 1 tahun setengah sudah telegraphic stage. Okay, now we're at the end of the class, and I want you to write down the summary of what you are learning today. Just in 1 or 2 paragraphs, and as a summary that what you learned today. So each of you should write, and we'll see next week in chapter 3, right?
Yes.
Do you have any questions? No, so far so good. So please just write something like summary, 2 or 3 paragraphs, each one of you, and you can submit after class. And let's meet again next week in chapter 3. Don't forget to read chapter 3. Okay. So since you don't have any questions, see you next week.
See you.
Thank you.